like your garage is trying to sabotage your success? I'm Chanel Thompson, owner of Inspired Being Home Organizing Solutions, and I'm here to turn that chaos into calm. Today, we're rescuing a professional gardener's garage from complete clutter catastrophe. Get ready to witness the power of organization as we transform this space into a gardener's dream workspace. I'll share tips and tricks you can use in your own garage, whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to reclaim some much needed space. Trust me, you won't want to miss this incredible makeover. Let's get organized. Okay, time to give you some context. This is our third session with this amazing client, and let me tell you, the garage has come a long way. Now, they recently decided to get rid of all of the things in their attic and bring them to the garage so that they could get everything out there. Instead of going little by little, this is what they needed, having had almost 7 years of stuff in their garage and in their garage attic. And so you could barely walk. You could barely walk in here, but typically you could barely walk in their garage. They expressed there were boxes, tools, gardening supplies. It was overwhelming even for a seasoned organizer like me. Now, our client is a busy professional gardener, mom of 3, teacher, wife, all-around superstar, and she needs a space to function smoothly. And having all the stuff in the attic and also all of her gardening tools and supplies not organized or decluttered, it's hanging over her head and it's impacting her efficiency, it's impacting her joy, it's impacting her ability to think clearly and to do her job in all ways. So we want to help her so she can focus on what she loves, which is creating beautiful gardens, spending time with her family, and feeling efficient and developing confidence. So last time, we made some serious progress. You can see here, this is our third time working together. The last time, this is her garden nook in her garage. You couldn't even see the floor. There's stuff everywhere, just because when you come in with a whole cart of things from the garden, you don't know where to put anything, so it just sits there until the next time you use it. Some things get shed from the wagon, some things don't, and it just ends up in a cluttered mess. So what we had done before in our first session was we had decided that her husband, being handy and also having things around the house like supplies, would create them an overhead storage for their seasonal supplies. So she has so many seasonal supplies. And so out of scrap wood that he had lying around and some skill and talent, he built in about 4 hours, very inexpensive, simple vertical storage for her to put all of her seasonal things up on. Now, we haven't decided what will go there, where, and how that will look. So you can see it's not being used effectively at this time. We also decided that she has so many flowers that are also being dried, and they're all around her garage laying on certain surfaces. She has 3 children, so they're not quite safe there. So we decided that this vertical storage would also serve well to dry flowers. So you can see all these hooks are filling up. So I filled some of them up on this day, and we're filling them up, and she'll be able to fill them up, having the ladder handy, get them out of the way, and they can remain fresh and dry properly in this space and not take up any space that is needed. Behind, we also installed these 2 racks. So she had these racks elsewhere. We decided this would be great. They're very shallow. They don't take up a ton of space, but they do, that vertical storage does allow for a lot of storage. Now, we hadn't decided what would go on those shelves. So they're just cluttered with a whole bunch of different things and they're not sorted. And so you can see there's wagons. You can't really see in the picture. There's a few wagons with materials that have come from the garden. If you've been following me for a while, my foundational philosophy is that you need to put it away, not put it down. And so you can't put it away if you don't know where it goes. So that's what we're doing today, is we're deciding where everything goes and what is needed. Let's get started. By the end of this session, you're going to be amazed at this transformation. So we're not just organizing stuff here. We're creating a space that supports her success, access to what she needs, fuels her creativity, and brings a little peace to her busy days. It's about reclaiming her space, her time, her confidence. So let's get started. Okay, can you see here? This is where we started on this day. Hopefully, By the end of the session, you're going to be amazed at the transformation. And hey, you might even get inspired to tackle that garage project you've been putting off this fall as well. So this client's garage, she happens to be a dear friend. I've been working with her to declutter her home from top to bottom. And for this video, we're just focusing on the garage because that's become unusable due to belongings from her home, her family, her garden, and systems that are not working for her. So inefficient systems that are not working for her. Now, she has very specific needs when it comes to parenting, gardening, and living a quality life. None of these needs are being met. So when we began with a needs assessment, you can check out the notes in this video for your copy of a needs assessment, which in my experience, working with countless families is exactly where everyone needs to begin, a needs assessment. So 6+ years of memories, grief, love, challenges, and different seasons of children and careers, and so much more, and building a home. This creates unique challenges for each client I've worked with, and it's so important to honor the pain, discomfort, and overwhelm that we feel when we go through this process. So when it's our own stuff, it's not easy. It is not easy, but guess what? As Glennon Doyle says, you choose your hard. So is it harder living like this? Or is it hard spending a weekend going through your stuff and actually reckoning with the belongings that you have and how they're impacting your life? So you get to decide. You get to choose your hard. You can sit in your pain and keep all the items hidden and in your home and on the floor. Keep the inefficient systems, the cluttered basement, the kitchens, the bedrooms. Keep drowning in no time and continuously messy and overwhelming house conditions. Or you can choose to say no more and spend a few weeks or even less working through these uncomfortable feelings and rewrite your future entirely. So it is your choice. And you know what this client chose? She chose to protect her future self and her future the future of her family. For this, I can tell you on the other side, she is feeling freedom, she's feeling joy, more time, and much less stress. She feels confident and competent in her role as a mother, a wife, a business owner, and a colleague. And let me tell you, this change has completely transformed her life. So let's take a look today at how she completed this journey in her garage with specifically her gardening supplies. And if you want to learn more about inside her home and how she tackled this garage in the home, comment organize, and I'll make a video about this as well, and a more extensive one about the other part of her garage that she was decluttering as well. I want you to know that I specifically coached her and I did not do it for her. This is critical. And I know that home organizing solutions, a lot of people come into your home, they revolutionize your whole home, and you go, that's amazing. The thing is, if you don't redefine the systems by which you operate and develop efficiency and understand the flow of your life and how you want to live and actually embody that, then you're going to end up right back at square one in a year from now or 6 months from now. So we choose to bravely walk alongside you. You need a coach to support you in developing specific skills, strategies, and concepts so this will not happen again. These are all covered in my comprehensive course, Home Organization Kickstart, where I coach you to meet your needs and do a little or a lot, in this case, to revolutionize your life. There are also several mini courses I offer. If you go to inspiredbeing.ca, you can find them all there. Now, all right, this is our third session. You could barely see. Now we are going to make some progress here. Last time we made some serious progress. I also want to mention that we discussed foundational organization ideas and supports. Like, don't put it down, put it away. That's one of them. I already mentioned that. And everything has a space. There's a space for everything. And if there isn't, we'll talk about what to do then. And if it takes you less than 1 minute to do it now. And I review these in a video linked below as well. Today, we're rolling up our sleeves and diving into the nitty-gritty. We're talking custom solutions for all those specialized tools, smart storage for seasonal items, and a system that makes sense for her unique needs. And the best part, we're doing it all without spending a dime. So we're repurposing what she already has to create a functional and beautiful space. What could be better? I'm sure that we could do this in your space as well. So stay tuned and apply these lessons to your situation today. Remember, a cluttered space can definitely, in all my experiences, leads to a cluttered mind. We are not just organizing stuff here. We're creating a space that supports her freedom, okay? Now, let's go to the next part here and notice what we have here is sorting by function. So she's sorting by function, which naturally for her also sorted by season. So putting things like with like helped categorize and assess how much space things needed. So we weren't necessarily putting things away. We weren't tearing it all down either, but we were putting like versus like. You can see here, she has a bunch of like diatomaceous earth and nutrition for the soil. We put it in one spot. She has cups and pots to hold her flowers. We put that in one spot. We did not know how much space it was going to take up, but she committed to finding every single pot that she could, every single thing that she could, and putting them in categories. So she sorted by category. Then, and only then, did we decide exactly where those items were going to go. Okay, so first we're sorting, and we might come up with loose items just so we're not feeling so overwhelmed we just quit. We might just put them on the wall or put them in a certain area, but we know, you can see she has no fancy label maker, no fancy materials here. She's literally writing on a sticky note, or you can write on a piece of masking tape or any tape with a Sharpie, a silly little label that makes sense to you and helps you identify your new rule. So your rule is that all of my pots right now are going here. So your brain automatically goes and delivers the pots to that location. We're reducing our brain or the amount of brain space that this is taking up, reducing the amount of overwhelm, and we're improving automaticity and flow through this challenge, okay? Now, especially when it comes to emotional stuff, it's so essential that you use the labels, stick the label on wherever you're putting that stuff so you can just haul it there and then decide, okay? Then she decided what left. So once she had everything consolidated into her sorting piles, she thought, I have snips. She had snips for cutting flowers. She had them in 3 different containers. We consolidated them into one appropriately sized container. That freed up 2 other containers. Then we did the same thing for every category. Now, there were a bunch of things, and I think I have a video here.
Step
Listen
one,
carefully.
match stuff from the floor to the shelf where it's obvious.
Just a minute here. We'll see if we can get. But before we go into this, I want you to know that this was the miscellaneous stuff that she had no idea where it would go. It was just kind of, we threw it all into a bin. So the things that were really hard and tricky, we threw into a bin and we left there, or an area, and we left it there for the end. That's the hard part. So everything that had a clear sorting pile, we put it there, we put it in its spot, and then we actually decided on a ishly spot for it. Then she went through all the miscellaneous hard stuff once she knew where everything else was kind of being placed. This is how she spoke about it, and let's see if I can turn it up and make it audible for you.
Step one, match stuff from the floor to the shelf where it's obvious.
Yes.
Step 2, sort things on the floor, but don't put it back because I don't know where it goes.
And then I'll come back and help.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so for the miscellaneous, the rule was she's going to put the stuff where she can identify a way. Like there were lights I see in there. There were little light posts that went in another area that we put in. There's measuring tapes. There's writing supplies. We already had a bucket of Sharpies. So she was able to herself put those things away and declutter the other stuff that did not matter at all. I think she found one more sorting pile in this miscellaneous area that she created and put in a spot, but mostly these things went in scattered places. Now, because each of those items has a place, when she comes in, she's going to put it easily away and not put it down. Okay, so it's not going to end up like this again because everything has a place and there's a space for everything. Nothing is crowded. There is a space for everything. So I want you to keep that in mind. So this is what she did, sorted all the rest of it. Then we did decide to make a rule for her that she could have a bucket. And so we decided on a medium-sized bucket by her back door that she would put miscellaneous things that don't have a space in over the next few months. So if she cannot quickly, in like less than 2 seconds, put something away, because that's how convenient these systems are meant to be. If she couldn't do that in like 2 seconds or less, then she would stick it in that box. And when that box gets big enough, she needs to sort through it. And maybe we decide, oh, I didn't make a space for X. I need to do that. Or I'm keeping this stuff and I don't need to keep this stuff. So I'm going to donate it, recycle it, or throw it in the garbage. So those are things to consider as well. The thing is, you need to have a rule around having one basket. You need to decide on the appropriate size. And when that basket gets full, do your things keep getting stacked in there? No, that's an indication to you that, oh, I have to sort through this bucket and decide what's not working here, put these things away, okay? So that's another way to deal with miscellaneous things. Also, as we're moving through this, we might decide, oh my gosh, still have way too many pots. I don't need this many pots. So it's always important to continue editing. I call that editing. It's always important to continue editing along the process. So keep editing. Oh, I have too many pots. I haven't used these in a year. Take them out. Oh, it opens up a lot more space. Or maybe I have so many snips and I do need these snips. I need a larger space for them. So it's really important to continue editing and thinking critically about what you own and how it's serving you. Okay, welcome back. Now, here is a video of us working together to decide on what will work best for this space. So we've talked about the racks and the overhead storage with the hanging flowers. We have also talked a little bit about sorting and storage, but we're going to go into that in this video. You'll be able to see exactly how we did it and the progress that needs to happen over time, right? So these are great ideas. They're actionable. We have set a functional plan for her in motion. And as things progress, like all of her long hanging tools are going to be moved to a shed that she has. And so that's going to take some time because the shed actually can only be moved once the snow is down. So we have to find a place for those in the meantime. And so that's kind of what we're going to be playing with. And this is going to happen in your house too, right? We want everything to be magical, and it is magical at the beginning. We also have to hold true to what we have committed to in making these systems work for us. So
Half of this area.
let's get into this.
Had someone come today and they said, I didn't even know you had a sink, your auntie. And this is the most beautiful sink. And so we are going to spice the sink up. We're going to do some staining here, add some hooks, and make it beautiful and functional at the same time. We've cleaned out about half of the things that were up there. It's so important that these tools are going to go into the shed. Once we move the shed, they're going into the shed. We will have wall storage. Vertical storage is so important. And so we're going to add vertical storage there, but right here is not where this belongs. So we're going to clear all this out, and then we have more space for the tools, the many, many tools that you have for the garden. We're going to make this space functional and beautiful. Here, we've already culled about half of the things that were in here. We've organized it. We've come up, we have spent no money. And we have
sorry, garbage.
Actually, though, we have spent
$0.
$0.
We spent nothing.
And we have completely transformed this space.
Okay, but you said we're gonna get rid of this eventually.
Yeah, so we've just in the meantime, we've literally been using labels and Sharpie, and you're gonna continue this. Silly labels, your handwriting, Sharpie, label everything you don't know what. We need rules. So whatever you don't know, irrigation is up here. We have lights up here. We have containers all over here. We have clamps and I don't even know what you have, but you helped sort this to make sure it was functional for your access. Now, what we've noticed is the sink comes out to here. This is completely unused space.
Yeah.
So we need to build out these shelves. So whether that means we get a second shelf that's the exact same size and we add one here and then we have deeper shelving, or whether that means we build in a new one that has double the depth. So you can see here, we needed to come out probably 18 inches or 2 feet.
Okay.
Probably 18 inches.
And thinking about this, you actually don't need anything here. Those were the wrong words, I guess. Those are a luxury. And so what we're looking at here is thinking, how can we make this better? And for her, in her particular situation, she is able to build out a different unit. For another person, it might not look like that. It might look like getting rid of more things or adjusting and making it work for your space. And that is totally fine as well. With her, being a commercial flower farmer and avid gardener, this is something that she would like to do, and it's possible for her in her home situation.
We can take measurements after, because then
Why? Just so I know.
it will store your things more effectively.
Okay.
So for your fertilizer, things like that. They look cramped, they are cramped, and you will have a hard time accessing them. However, when you have space in your storage, you are able to return it to where it is meant to be and pull it out from where it's meant to be with so much ease. There is no more mess. You're not trying to cram in and organize things, whereas right now we want all of our fertilizer stuff, or not fertilizer, we want all of our
Cramming in cluttered never works.
diatomaceous earth to be in one spot. We want all of our worm and whatevers to be in one spot. I'm not a professional gardener. Okay, I'm an
amendments.
organizer.
They're amendments.
We want your
because
amendments
they're
in one spot. We
natural.
want your tape in one spot. We want everything to be consolidated, and this is wasted space. So is it necessary? Heck no. Will it make your life easier if it's possible for your husband or you to like get this? Yes. That will be a very good use of space for
Exactly.
this ample, huge wall. Now, just like we did with the hanging flowers up there, because you're expanding your garden, you're expanding your 4 seasons of the garden, which is a lot of the beautiful dried flowers. So you're going to expand that, and we have so much aseasonal storage that needs to go up. And so we have this big, beautiful ladder that we use when we need to. However, this, with all that wasted space up there, you're going to, it took Logan 6 hours.
If that, yeah.
If that, to build that. So let's spend 4 hours more building another one, and everything aseasonal goes up there, and then you know it, and we will label. So you will have a section for everything, and you will know where everything goes and where to put everything back. And there will be so much
Labels
space
are
for everything
essential.
you need
They
for
don't
this
have to be
commercial garden.
fancy.
And then I can grow more dried flowers.
And you will have, you'll have more space for dried flowers. And how much beauty when you walk in here
I know, I love
into your
that.
garden space, instead of seeing everything's on the floor, right? And then these shelves are empty. They are empty most of the time, unless it's like a seasonal thing. Like aseasonally, we put these gloves up high. They don't need to be there in the winter, but seasonally, we bring them down, and you have gloves, and you have access to them. The kids, we put them down here.
But wait,
The kids have access to them.
what time? What do I tell myself though when I want to fill this up? Because
Put
I'm
it-
going to, but like I
yeah.
need something that I could say.
Put it away. Don't put it down. Everything
That
we've
is the
done
most
today
effective rule.
has a space. You have a space for everything, and everything has a place. If it doesn't have a place, this is the one thing we do. If it doesn't have a place, because we come up with like, there is no place for, so many things. So this is what I do at home in my garage and in my house, at the bottom of my stairs. So
This is
I'm
an
gonna
important
pick
life
this-
hack. Pay attention
I'll
to
just
this.
pick here. You'll pick a bigger basket, but not much bigger than this. Like maybe one of the a big plastic basket, and you have it here. So if you,
Oh, like my random spot.
it's your, like we did in your house with
Yeah.
the library books and the random and the
you have a
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous
So what we do
bucket.
is you have a place for everything. Then you have a random bucket where you're like, this doesn't have a place. Then once the random bucket gets full, you have to go through it. We don't just like spread out. This is your rule. You have to go through that random bucket once it's filled, and then you decide, oh, I have an area I have not accounted for that I really need, especially in
Exactly.
your garden. Like there's so many things that maybe we didn't account for because we're only doing this during the end of the summer season, not every season. So you decide, oh, I need a place for this. And then you make a spot and you label it. Not fancy, like I said, very, very informal. But that's what you do, because you might notice patterns of things here. You might also notice, oh, doesn't belong because it actually doesn't belong. Get it out. Like all the kids' miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah.
However, that's what you do for your garden, just like you do for the inside. And that's how
Got
we
it.
tame the mess. That's how we
Think about where
see
you can do
everything
this
is. That's
in
how
your
we put
garden,
things.
in your garage, everywhere in your home. Okay? I would say max 1 bucket for miscellaneous indoors and 1 bucket for miscellaneous outdoors.
Away, even if like, I hate to say this, I'm like, even if Harvey is on fire. I mean, don't do it. Not if he's on fire. But like,
No, actually, not if someone's hurt. Not if someone's hurt at all. But this is how easy our system should be. This is how easy our system should be for you to implement. So if it's not that easy, then it's not the system for you, okay?
someone's
I'm not
crying.
recommending
If
you
someone's
ignore
crying
your
and they're
child.
safe, put it away
Yeah.
and then go get them. We'll cut that out.
I love it.
We will cut that out. But like, actually, because when we're making efficient, effective systems,
Yes.
it should be that easy to put it away and then go grab the kid who's hungry and crying and whatever. Not like they're choking or dangerously hurt, but like that's how easy it should be, is to be like, oh, put the pencil away because that's where the markers go, and go get your kid if he's not actually hurt. But like that is the magic of having systems that work for you,
Yes.
not you working for the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're doing here. You are magic.
You are.
Okay.
Love you. Boom!
Okay, everyone, that is the magic of collaborating with people, of supporting people. In the courses I write, I am here with you alongside you, shadowing you and learning from you and learning with you. Leave a comment in the notes below. Like, what would you like to see more of? I want to know what you'd like to see more of. Check out inspiredbeing.ca for the courses that are currently available. If there are some courses that you can imagine, like, I want to learn more about this, drop a note in the comments below. Living like this in the clutter and the chaos, rather than specifically identifying our needs, throwing that away that we don't need, and developing efficient and effective organizational systems is critical so that we can reclaim our space and our confidence in business, in our personal lives, in our family lives. When we exist in a cluttered, chaotic environment throughout our days, this impacts all aspects of our wellness. And on the flip side, when we can find our things, when we have beauty and organization infused into our home environment and our garage environment, our wellness improves tremendously. So I want you to get started. Comment below, where are you starting first and what resonated most with you? See you next time.